All right, welcome back to the IOY podcast. Today, I got a new guest on today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
I'm Bobby Luisi. I'm from Boston, Little Italy in Massachusetts. I was a Capo de Gene in the Philadelphia family and a boss up in Boston.
Okay, I guess just kind of start, with everything. What was your early life like growing up as a kid there?
Well, I mean, I grew up with the neighborhood I grew up in was very influenced with the Mafia, with Cosa Nostra. And my father was an enforcer for the Patriarca family. So I was around wise guys all the time. I grew up with them from a young age.
Explain to the people what a wise guy is.
It's a main guy in the Mafia.
Okay.
We call it in America, we call it La Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours. And so I was a Capo de Gene, which means that I had a crew underneath me.
Right.
Capo in Italian means boss. It means I was a boss of a crew.
Okay. Go on, man. Explain, your early life like you were.
Well, I grew up around wise guys all my life. And, the neighborhood was heavily influenced with it. From growing up in the North and East Boston, they were, the North End was a full Italian community. East Boston was a little mixed, a lot of Irish and Italian there, and the influence was there all the time. When I was a young kid, I worked for the wise guys in their vending companies, with the pinball machines and all of that. And I was just a big influence in my life. It was part of my life, being around these people and growing up around these people.
Yeah. When was, I guess, you kind of your click moment when you joined in, and they recruited you?
Well, I really didn't. I'll explain the story a little better.
Okay.
I was about 16 years old and I moved back in the North End, my father's building. Like I said, the neighborhood was very influenced with the mob there. The underboss for the Patriarca family, Jerry and Julo, was on Prince Street, one of the streets I grew up on there. There were two other capos in the neighborhood, and we hung around on Hanover Street under Larry Bione. My father was with that crew. Johnny Ciccardi, Ralphie Chong. These are some names from Boston. These May guys up here. So at 16, I was around them, dressing up, going around them every day, hanging out. And not dressed up with suits and ties. I don't mean that, but nice jeans, always clean dressed, whatever. But at that time, too, I also, half my family was in the construction business.
Okay.
And I love the carpentry work. And I was working with a carpenter after school. And at 16, I quit school and I went full-time carpentry. And I just loved it. And I started getting away from that life. I really, my father was in it. That was fine. But, I wanted to do different things with my life.
Yeah.
You never really could just walk away, because I grew up in those neighborhoods. I didn't walk away from it. I wasn't really involved. I'll say that much. I wanted to go more into a legal business.
Right. So what was the kind of the event that, brought you back into it?
Well, the late 80s, the market crashed on Martha's Vineyard. I built maybe 50, 100 homes on Martha's Vineyard. Damn. I had a construction company, development company, even opened a Chinese restaurant on Martha's Vineyard, China Vineyard. And
so a lot of work you were doing.
Yeah, we were doing a lot there. But like I said, the market crashed. I had a big crew, 20 guys working for me, subcontractors, all that. And one day I got up, I didn't have a job for myself. So I decided to go back to Boston. I came back, lost all my properties. I came back broke.
Damn.
Yeah. And I put a gun on and I went out the street.
Shit. That's crazy how something like that can, just change, I mean, the market crashes, kind of explain, how that happened, like when did you start noticing that it was, starting to crash?
It was around the late 80s. It was getting slow. The work was getting slow. I was always busy for several years down there. I went down in 84. I just did a big condo complex in Boston. I finished that up and I went to the Vineyard, the spec homes down there and built for other people. But the late 80s, we opened up the restaurant. The construction was getting really slow. It didn't happen in one day. It just started to peter off. And
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. And then they announced, the market crashed. There was 6,000 houses down on the Cape they couldn't sell. And we just overbuilt down there. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I caught that end of it. I wasn't smart enough to, reinvest my money back in Boston. So
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, my friend.
Oh, I was just going to say, so you went back to Boston, and then, what was it kind of looking like? What was the mindset then?
Well, the mindset was to get back involved with the street. I lost all my credit. I had 2 kids at the time. There was nothing going on. I was discouraged with everything because I worked so hard to build up what I had and lost everything like that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go back on the street. And that's what I decided to do.
Yeah. I mean, going through that, trying to, build a legitimate life, and then for it to be, taken away just like that. I mean, yeah, it had to have been, really heartbreaking and mindset changing, because, you try to do the good thing, and then look what happens, bad shit. It's just like, know. So then, yeah, I could, definitely see the mindset coming and changing, as you went back to Boston. And I mean, kind of, explain that, I mean, you just really wasn't, interested in going back and trying to, do something legitimate. Right.
Well, when I got back, I started seeing everything that was going on, what the young guys were doing in the neighborhood, who had money, what they were up to. A lot of it was drugs.
Yeah.
I still was doing a few small jobs, believe it or not. When I came back with my tools. I built a few more homes up here, some condos, a few nice custom homes. But I just wanted to get back on the street. I wanted to get back on there. I opened up a social club. We played cards there. It was a card club. Started a little bookmaking operation. And then eventually got into the drugs. And that was really lucrative for me. I would say by 93, 90, I'm not good with dates. I don't remember. But it took me a few years, and then I was back up there. I had money again. Didn't take me too long to become a millionaire again.
Damn.
Not that I was a millionaire the first time. I was, equity rich the first time.
Yeah.
But this time I had cash.
Yeah. So you had to come back. You came back and had to kind of build up your money. And I mean, what was you still have like your own kind of crew, when you were coming up, or was it just kind of you by yourself running everything?
Well, first by myself, and then, you build a crew up.
Right.
It took a few years. I started going to different neighborhoods. I started grabbing bosses in different neighborhoods of different crews. Not me guys, but, guys that were moving around in the neighborhoods. That's how I would plant the flag in a neighborhood. If you were in Somerville, I'll just say, and I know you guys, your crew was really running around up there, I try to get you under my umbrella.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I run into these cities.
Yeah. So on the way,
the family just started building.
Yeah. I mean, so like on the way up, then, when you kind of got up to almost towards the top of, your peak of making money and everything, what was going through your head, like how far did you want to take it? Did you think you were going to get to millionaire status?
Yeah. And I did make it there. But the problem was coming up in the 90s, there was a war up here, the different mafia factions. It was the same family, but it exploded from within,
Dang.
Yeah. And all the different factions, the old faction, we were the new faction, everybody was fighting. A lot of guys got killed up here in the 90s. And but during the course of that, I kept building my business and my crews.
Yeah. So then, was it like were they trying to get your turf? Is that what they were trying to do? Is that they were kind of beefing over, was like turf and stuff?
Well, the boss had taken over up here that the old faction didn't like. And a lot of the guys on the street still with the old faction. And there was a killing, and that escalated into a little war. And from that, a lot of guys got killed. So there were lines drawn.
Damn.
And that's basically what happened. But praise God, I came out on top of all of that.
Yeah. I mean, so what was it looking like when you got to the top? Was you going to try to expand, or were you just fine with where you were at?
I was fine where I was at.
You were just, you weren't worried about, trying to expand or anything like that?
No, you can't get greedy. If you're doing something that's working, you keep at it. everything grows or diminishes eventually. We know that, so you just keep going and just keep clicking along. And, if you're not greedy on the street, if you share, you're much better off. That was my belief anyway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What was, like, what was the day in the life, of when you were on top like that? What was your schedule like?
My schedule?
Yeah.
I go in the neighborhood in the morning, have my cappuccinos in the coffee shop, walk around, go see a few people, do my errands, go for lunch with the guys. At the end, I was trying to get home early at night, like 5, 6 o'clock with my family.
Damn, so you could have a pretty set schedule when you're up top like that?
Yeah, I did actually. Coming up in the life, I was out all the time. The war was going on, nightclubs, women, all that, But the more you climb that ladder and the more powerful you get, you kind of back off from the street.
Yeah.
And things like that,
So what was a, average day for you, coming up?
Well, when I was coming up,
yeah,
it was wild. Like I said, we were in a war. I was going to nightclubs. It was a womanizer, a lot of women. It was always action for me, the card clubs, gambling, whatever. But like I said, when I climbed up that ladder, I just backed up from all that.
Right.
I started acting like a boss, the position that I was in.
Yeah. So then, what kind of led into, getting, I guess, were you raided when they busted you, or were you set up?
I was raided a few times. I was definitely set up. I was set up by another Capo in the Philadelphia family.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Break it down, I guess, if you could.
Well, my boss, Joey Merlino, out of Philadelphia. Ronnie Previty was an ex-cop, and John Stafford, the boss before Joey, had made him. So Joey pulled him back in the crew. Unbeknownst to Joey, he was a federal informant. Made him a capo, so he would be at the level of myself and the other capos in the family. And he was going around talking with all of us. There was a time I wanted out of the drug business, and I was working really hard at that. And I guess that Ronnie kept pressuring Joey, to get back in the drug business. Meanwhile, it was the FBI coercing Joey through Ronnie, to get me up in Boston. Because, my faction was in Boston and Joey was the boss of Philadelphia. So this is what ended up happening. I ended up sitting with an FBI agent and a capo from my family. And they got me on tape. They got some of my guys. It couldn't be helped. When your boss gives you an order or pressures you to do something, you got to get it done. Even though I was a boss up here, the only person I had to answer was Joey Merlino. And unfortunately, he put this guy in my direction. So in 1999, I got pinched on a drug charge.
How did they go about setting you up then? Because when you were set up, did you have stuff in your possession?
No, I never touched that stuff.
Oh, so you didn't have to worry about getting caught with all of it.
Yeah, well, I was a boss. I wasn't going to touch that. We're not supposed to be in that business.
Oh, okay.
My guys took care of all of that, deliveries, everything. But they got me on tape talking about it.
Oh, okay. Now I see what you mean.
They got me on videotape.
So then when they got you on tape and stuff like that, what was the, kind of the next steps with that? You ended up doing 14 years, right?
I did 14 years. When I went in, I was facing 10 to 12. We were trying to get to 10.
Yeah.
And then I found out there were murder conspiracies coming down. There was murder indictments coming down from the government.
Right.
And, luckily, excuse me 1 second. I just want to shut this off. I forgot to do it. Getting older now, I forget a lot of things.
No biggie, man.
Yeah. And luckily for me, my lawyer, Jack McGlone, Marty Bedroll just left the AUSA's office. He was a federal prosecutor and went into private practice in the office where my lawyer happened to be. And when I questioned my lawyer about the murder indictments, he brought down Marty Vidro. And Marty said, Bobby, they got you cold. You know, your friends flipped on you. There's nothing you could do. I could still get you this 10 years or 12 years, which I had no problem doing. You know, it's part of the life. But they're definitely going to re-indict you on a murder or more, one or more. He wasn't even sure, but they had me solid on one, he said. He said, with the informants, you're not going to get away with this. So you have to make a decision. So when he first came, I told him, I'll never talk to the government. You know, I did the whole thing. But after a few weeks of this stewing, I was in my cell. I called my lawyer and said, hey, tell them I'm going to come and talk to them. I went to talk with them. I really couldn't do it. That wasn't in my heart to be an informant. So I backed out of the deal. And I went to trial on the drug charges. And I got 20 years. 235 months, I believe I got.
Damn. They make it sound not as long when they say the months.
Yeah. Then I won an appeal. It was the first one in Boston to overturn a drug case. I won an appeal, went back to trial, lost again, but they had to take the leadership role off of me.
Damn.
So I ended up getting 15-8, and I did actually 13-9 in prison.
That's a long time. What did you do between that whole time?
Well, 15 months before I got arrested, I went back to Christ. Something had happened, and I was going to church on the street. And when I got into prison, you know, I started really studying deeply now because I was off the street, trying to find out, you know, getting answers. I had a spiritual experience, lasted a number of hours with the demonic being, and I wanted to search and find out why this happened to me. And I realized that night that happened, there was a Christ, there was a God, and there was a devil. So I put all my efforts in it when I went to prison. I got a degree in theology. I was teaching in prison. I was the GED teacher in prison for several years. I really enjoyed that. And I educated myself in the Bible. Wrote a book while I was in prison. I published it when I came out. So prison for me, it was an adjustment, of course. It is to everybody. But I took advantage of it.
Yeah. It sounds like you sure did, because, I mean, you got to, teach people. You got to write a book. You even got a degree. Yep. I mean, you had a lot of time, I guess, to really do these things, versus, being out on the street, being busy, being a boss, and not really thinking to do those kind of things, So you never really know what, with every, negative, an opportunity comes, and the negative was you going to jail, but look at, this positive that came out of it, and then, changing you.
It's what you make out of the situation you're in.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people.
That's with everything.
That's with everything. Every facet of life. Yeah. It's with everything. Yeah.
So. I mean, going back a little bit, before we, talk about, your show and everything, your father was right. He was a mob boss too, as well.
No, my father was an associate of the Patriarca family, Papo's guy.
Okay.
Papo's man, I don't know if you know what that means or your audience, but that means at any time he could have became a main man when there was a ceremony.
Oh, okay.
But he got killed. He never got a button, we call it. He never got his button.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing on your one of your interviews you were talking about. You kind of
broke 1995. He got killed with my brother and two other people at the 99 restaurant in Charlestown, right outside of the North End. Yeah.
What was the situation on that?
Well, that's a little rough to talk about, but
okay.
It was a neighborhood dispute.
Okay,
I'll say that.
Yeah. So what was you saying though about it though? About shit. What did I ask before that? Oh, we were talking about your father, right? So yeah. He never kind of put you onto it, to join the mob or anything.
Well, when I first came back in 1990 from the vineyard, he wasn't too crazy about some of the things that I was doing. I don't know if you wanted this life for me or not. he didn't influence me either way. I made my own decisions. I was a grown man.
Right.
Also, I can't blame my father for anything. Not that he pressured me to be in the mob. There's just decisions that I made to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I mean, look what you made out of everything that you went through. You got the show that you got now. How did that start?
Well, what happened when I got out of prison? I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
I went to a few churches down there. That's where I met my second wife in Tennessee. They sent me out of Tennessee. And I gave my book to a few pastors, and they liked the book. And two of them asked me to teach in their church. I ended up going with Bishop Coleman. It was a black church right outside of Memphis. Really great guy. Prophet, really good man. So I went in there for a short time and started my teaching course and was an assistant pastor. When I left the church, I started a TV ministry on Channel 6 down there in Tennessee. That didn't last too long. It was very expensive, making the videos and everything. I didn't know at the time how to do all of this. Now I do all this. I edit. I do everything to the best I can,
Yeah.
I didn't
it looks good. I've been watching it.
Yeah. And when I left the studio, I got some kids out of the Geek Squad at Best Buy, and they came and they were doing the videos for me. And they were teaching me. Yeah, they were teaching me. So I learned down there. In 2017, I did Comedy Central with Mike Francis and another friend of ours. And Paulie saw it. Paul Tanzo, he's the co-host of the show.
Yeah.
Paulie said, Bobby, we got to do something. You got to get back on TV. We got to do this, that. Paulie was pushing me. Last year, I went down to do John A. Light show. He's got a mob talk show.
Yeah.
I did John A. Light show. It did really well. So I came back. I bought some of the equipment, to start the show. Meanwhile, $12,000 later, maybe more. And I got 3 laptops, 3 cameras. I got all the equipment I need. And to me, it's a great hobby.
Yeah.
I love doing this. I really do.
Yeah, and a lot of people interact with it.
Yeah, well, teaching for years. I used to be shy, getting up and talking in front of people, but now, the teaching brought me out of that. So now, I don't mind being on camera. I don't mind being on TV. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely, because like I said, before we started the interview, I seen that you have a lot of interviews you do with people and stuff like that, and really help everyone out and stuff. But, but yeah, I can definitely see that, you really like to teach and, talk with people, especially on the show.
I don't.
So, when you first started, what kind of direction did you want to, do with the show?
Well, we all started with that gangster platform.
Yeah.
Ex-mob boss, but a lot of it's turning into the Christian. I got a good sized Christian audience. So this is why I'm thinking now to start teaching again.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I got a lot of things going on, business-wise too. It's been really hard just to even get in front of the computer. It takes a lot of work to start teaching, a lot of studying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't been doing much of that. But as soon as I could get back in that groove and get a schedule together, I was hoping to start it this month, but maybe February. But sometime in the beginning of this year, I will get up there and start teaching and add a station to my station. Right. That's what I'm looking to do.
Yeah. And I mean, didn't at one point, like you were explaining that story, you were kind of a pastor too for a little bit, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, even then, there's that teaching that you're putting in, telling, talking to an audience of different people, and being comfortable around that, but I was going to say what, with the show too, I watched the first episodes. Well, I watched, quite a few of them on there, but the first one you had, with Paul and who was the other guy? Anthony, right?
Aralotta.
Yeah, there you go.
First show we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you know at the time that you were going to have Paul on there with you?
Oh, he's the one that pushed the show.
Right. So
Oh,
then,
say hi while you're here. Paul, say
I'm
hi.
not
he's
good,
even.
I didn't know I was coming on camera.
Hey, what up, man? How's
How
it
you
going?
doing?
This is Adrian.
Hi. Yeah, I'm the co-host. We
Yeah,
put this
right.
brainstorm together.
Yeah, no, I've been.
Shows coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the show, man. I've been watching it.
Well, we want to do a positive message, so you know what I mean. We try to keep it, hope for people in this day and age.
Right. Yeah. No, I really like the
And-
Wednesday night lives and stuff.
And I've been with Bobby for years.
Since he was a kid.
Yeah, since I was a baby. It's like a brother to me.
Yeah,
So
he grew up with my family,
I
and
never
then
let him down.
when he got older, I put my crew together, and Paul became a main guy in my crew.
Oh, okay. So that's your guys' relationship, and now look,
Yep.
you guys got your own show too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great working with him on Wednesdays. I love it.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man. Nice meeting you. Oh, that's cool, man. What a surprise.
Yeah.
I wish I was rest.
It's all right, Paulie. Don't worry
I
about
thought I
it.
was going to be behind you.
You're the cameraman today. What are you worried about?
I thought I would put a different shirt on, at least.
It's all right. I'm
But,
sure Adrian and his viewers don't mind.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. No, I was going to ask you a little bit about him, but that's, I guess you guys kind of broke it down. You guys were just childhood friends and just kind of kept coming up together.
Well, the North End is a very small community.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's 5 square blocks. And, everybody pretty much knows each other. I was older than Paulie. Paulie more hung around with my cousins and my younger brothers. I was with the older cousins and, Paulie's family.
Yeah.
So, and then after everything I did, got out of prison, we found each other again. He was living in Florida, I was in Tennessee, and we hooked back up.
And then that's when you guys kind of pushed the show.
Yeah. After we did a light show, it was time to do it.
Yeah. Just really have that niche, to have, your own kind of platform and your own show, to, teach people and preach, because that's what you said the direction of the show is going to kind of lead into, right?
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to keep the mob stuff separate.
Right.
So if I start another podcast, it'll be attached to the channel, but it will be under a different name.
Right. No, that makes sense. Do you have a name
for it?
it?
It's the Christian Show, and that's,
Yeah. No, that's a good way to do it, to separate it, because I mean, you get to bring in two different kind of people to the audience, the Christians, like you said, because that, the people that want to do the religious stuff and the people that want to hear the mob stories, because definitely there's people that want to hear both of those things. And I, like I said, I really like, your approach, on, just how you are, and how you talk to people, and, like, because, I think I heard in one of your interviews, like the people that you're supposed to teach will come to you, you know what I mean? And then, and like you have your certain way of, just talking and being relaxed, versus, someone you can relate to people that have went through the street life and, versus that another, pastor might not, because they were brought up, Christian their whole life, and they never really got involved with that kind of stuff, but
who would you rather talk to? Somebody that's been through that life,
right,
that knows the depths of Satan and what came out of it, or you want to talk to a pastor that came up in a church and is holier than thou?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And this is what people can't, comprehend what they're teaching, because they know that they're not that.
Yeah,
and that's a problem for a lot of people. So I kind of fill that void a little.
Yeah, no, you definitely do, because like you said, you've been through so much stuff. I mean, yet you with the mom, going to prison, coming out, just struggles, a lot more struggles than, the average person may go through, and so, kind of been through hell and back. And now that you found Christ, I mean, it's easier for you to preach it, because
exactly,
you went through it.
I put Paulie on the straight and narrow, right, Paulie?
Yep. He keeps me on the straight and narrow every day.
I keep him on it.
Without him, I'd be lost.
Yeah. We're doing the best we can, and we're trying to love everybody that watched the show. And Wednesday Night Live is really important, because we just we associate with our viewers.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's the best show that I do. I really enjoy Wednesday night.
Detox, mental health.
Yeah.
We talk about different subjects, different varieties. It's not just a mob show. And, you know, it's helped me a lot too. It helps me deal with things, believe it or not.
Right. It's kind of like a therapy, huh?
In a way, I say it is, in a way.
To talk to people and interact and stuff, you know, just to,
Yep.
you know, because you never know what they're going to ask on that live, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, no, I know.
But
praise God, we answer most of it. Some things are crazy. We don't touch, but, you know, we answer most of it.
Yeah. And you get to pick what you want to answer and what you don't, you know what I mean? So,
right. Yep.
But, you know, that's good that you interact with your audience like that, because, you know, then it makes them feel more appreciated, because you're actually taking out time to do a whole segment on Wednesdays to just talk to them, strictly them, you know what I mean, and topics that they throw at you.
Well, they're important to us.
Yeah, and you definitely show them
that. Especially in these times, we all have struggles. We're all looking for some different type of release. You know, so if they know they got something there that's every Wednesday night and something they can enjoy. We got a great comment today, Paul, you got on the show about our show and how they look forward to it every day. You know, it's just a nice feeling. It really is.
No, that's got to mean a lot to you guys, because, you know, to have someone watch it every Wednesday, you know, it's you know, it's good. They're a loyal fan, you know, and you know that what you're doing is a good thing, and people actually interact and like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a TV show on TV, but on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. That's what we try to do. That make it like a variety show.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon type of thing. I mean, that's what I grew up with. That's how we wanted to kind of structure the show.
Yeah.
A little, you know, and yeah. And like Paulie said, we're the only really two made men that are still together.
Yeah, that's
out
what's
of all
crazy.
These other made guys, you know, that are on there. But I mean, they got great shows, and they got their shows are doing on Sammy the Bull and Mike Francis, and you know, and tomorrow night we got Jimmy Calandria on.
Damn.
You know, he's from Bath Ave. He's a great guy. He'll be on the live show tomorrow night. So there'll be a lot of questions asked tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's nice to deal and talk with people from the life. It's nice to talk to people about different subjects.
Yeah.
Like I said, so many people are hurting out there.
Yeah.
And to bring a little joy into the house, you know, is a nice thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's through a TV, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, it really is, you know.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and anybody can just, you know, play it in the background too, and just, you know, they can play on their phone and listen at the same time, or, you know, be eating or anything, you know, because, you know, it's more like an audio, you know what I mean? Then, you know, you don't have to sit there and watch it, you know what I mean? But
right,
you can
exactly.
listen, you know, and that's what people like to do a lot nowadays too. So it comes in handy, you know, and, kind of mentioning your guest and stuff. You know, I listened to your interview with John. His last name started with an A.
A-Light, John.
Yeah, him. And so, you know, it's probably good for you too to, you know, interact and, you know, listen to someone that's kind of went through the same stuff as you, and you know, be able to talk to them about certain situations that you may not with the, you know, average person, you know, because I think he was a hitman, you said, on that interview.
Yeah, he said he was. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's crazy, you know, that you know, we're able to you know, interview people like that, you know, and it's just crazy, you know, but it's cool, you know, and it's nice to listen to, you know, and see that, you know, that man changed his life. You know, he, you know, might have done a lot of shit, but, you know, that's not, you know, who he wants to be no more.
Well, you know, it's all about redemption.
Yeah.
No matter what you did in your life. I committed so many bad crimes in my life, up to murder. And, you know, God, he washed all that blood off my hands.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter what type of, what walk of life you come from, where you grew up, what your nationality is, even your creed. Because if Christ wants you, God's going to give them to him. And that's the way that works.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, anybody that's sensible today on the street knows the life is over. From any, like I said, from any walk of life, you know, that life is over. There's too much surveillance. There's too much things going on. I mean, we're putting the TV on over here. We're seeing murders up in Boston, but it's from different nationalities now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the Italians anymore. Our last heyday was in the 90s. That pretty much calmed down. The mob is minimal up here now. really through most of the country. But there's still a sitting family up here in Philly, in New York, there's families.
Right.
But the rest of the country's really hurting. You know?
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that. So, you know, like back then, they would never be able to do the same stuff that they did, you know, today and get away with it because there's too much surveillance and everything.
Hey, it's over. You know, the FBI has been working on La Cosa Nostra, organized crime, since the Valachi papers.
Right.
I mean, a lot of years. So they caught up with us.
Yeah. So, I mean, they probably had to figure out some ways to kind of adapt or something, but, you know.
Well, I think they took our ways, you know, made it their own, and they came after us with them. Yeah. I believe that's what they did.
Yeah.
Because they're the new Machiavelli crew, the federal government, the DEA, Homeland Security.
They're the new
all the way up to the White House, you know, if you see how politics are today.
So, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What, you know, kind of back to the show, you know, you advertise products and stuff on there. You got T-shirts, hoodies, clothes and stuff, you know, kind of break that down. How did that come about, you know, with the logo and everything?
Well, someone made the logo for me, original logo, then someone else added to it. And I really liked it. It went up to a few companies up online at eBay. We sell on eBay right now. Yeah. That might be changing, though. I have a website, BobbyLuisi.com. The stuff's up on the website. You can go to the page and get the products right there. So, you know, there's a lot of different things we do. And I figured it's good for the fans. Like, we got the cups. These are a great seller. The coffee cups, you see it?
Oh, yeah. I can see it. Pretty perfect.
Yeah, well, there's like 3 different styles of coffee cups with the show on it.
That's cool.
And we got a picture one with Paul, too, up there. Paul's picture on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the products are nice. It's nice to have that memorabilia from a show. It's like when we were kids, we used to go to the baseball games. They used to sell us the little Red Sox bats and the caps and all that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, it's a good way to, you know, get money to kind of fund your, you know, podcast and everything like that. Because, you know, you guys have the donations and everything that people can send. And, you know, this is just on top of it, too.
Yeah, well, the very little is earned from the products.
Mm-hmm.
But our big help is our viewers are so generous with us. I can't believe how good they are with us. And really, that's where the money comes in.
That's good.
Nice. Every week they're sending us money. They're supporting us.
Gifts.
We get different gifts from people. I think we got wine coming up right now from California.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, there's just some great people out there.
What's one of your favorite gifts
that we received so far?
Yeah.
April made us blankets, poly t-shirts. Sabrina sent us no, it wasn't Sabrina, it was Gianna. The Soprano wine bottle, that was nice.
Damn.
Keychains from Dublin.
Mugs, keychains. I guess Jimmy Calandria is sending us a lot of stuff. Yeah. We got stuff sent over from Ireland. You know, it's nice. It's nice. People are really involved in the show. Our friend Sammy, the Beast, he sent us t-shirts and hats, and
someone else sent us t-shirts too. We wore them that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really nice what people do.
Damn,
it's really nice.
How did your guys' show start taking off? When did you notice that?
It started right away. We did John A. Light show, and like I told you earlier, I did Comedy Central.
Yeah,
and you know, we had some good people around us. Anthony Aralotta is a Capo de Gene, out of the Genovese family. He grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. We were friends before. We were good friends in the 90s. So friends came on, helped us get started, and we were doing really well, starting to build. But then I got COVID. Paulie got COVID, and we slowed down a little.
Yeah.
We did. You know,
I'm sure, COVID's been going around pretty crazy. I just got over that.
No, I've had it since April.
Damn.
We decided to do Wednesday Night Live, just to have a steady show on every week.
Yeah, so that's good.
It started for that reason, but then it turned into like a family affair.
Yeah, everybody started coming on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I love doing that. I
Yeah.
really do.
How do you go about reaching out to getting people on?
Well, it's like anything else. Now, I don't have a big show,
Yeah.
but I went on Vlad TV.
Yeah, I seen
He's got
that.
1 million subscribers. A Light, he's got 40. He had 40, 50,000 subscribers. I just did Mike Francese's show on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's got almost 800,000.
Damn.
So I'm picking up a lot of people from him that liked our interview. So people see these different interviews on these different shows and they like them. If they like them, they're going to come. Now, hopefully, they're going to like this interview. I'm going to put the whole interview up because I think it's really nice. I like the way it's going right now.
Thank you.
I'm going to put up the whole thing, but your station underneath.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's how you get everything generated.
That's true. Relationships and networking.
Yeah. Now, how long you been doing this?
I started about a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we did too. We're up to almost 7,000 subscribers.
Damn, yeah. So yours guys has really took off pretty quick.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they'll like your show, what's on it, the content, and they'll start watching you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be good.
What is a lesson that you learned through business where you might have been screwed out of a situation and you can prevent someone else from going through?
Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was younger, I bought my first 3-family building. This is just a lesson in business. I bought my first 3-family building, and I borrowed $4,000 from a loan shark to help me put the down payment down.
Damn.
So when I bought it, I was in debt.
Yeah.
Anything that you have to do or go out and strive for, and it's going to put you in debt, it's not worth it. It really isn't. A lot of people go out, they open up restaurants, they do all these different things, they're getting loans. And especially today, the way the world is, it's scary to do anything. Yeah. It's scary to sell food on the corner. And I just say to people, if you don't have it, don't start it.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are coming on here and they have a laptop anyway, and they buy a camera and a microphone. Average, that's what all these guys do. And, they come on and they do a podcast. It takes a long time to build up, but this is really a cheap way to start a business. It's really good. Eventually you're going to build. I see your personality, what type of guy you are. You're going to build. You're going to build, Adrian. I know that.
Definitely. You too.
God bless you. I hope you do, because you're good people.
Thank you.
So, you do that, that's a way, but it's a low budget business. Yeah. I've known guys that went and bought cleaner products out of their cars. They were going to clean other cars. These women start these cleaning services. They get a vacuum, some chemicals, and now they got a cleaning service. Always stay within your means. Yeah. Whatever you want to do. That's my business advice.
I like that. No, that definitely makes sense because, when you go in debt, you lose your freedom, and
you do.
And especially, like you said, you did a loan shark. So, I mean, you don't miss a payment, they're going to be on your ass real quick, so, but no, that's a good piece of advice, man. Cause, a lot of people need to hear that, cause, somebody might go buy out a car, $60,000 car and only have like a few $1,000s, you know what I mean? And it's not,
well, this is society today.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just materialistic. They rather suffer to have that car.
Yeah.
No, I could have a nicer car. I have a Kia Optima.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I used to drive big, expensive cars.
Yeah.
When our day was Cadillacs, town cars. We weren't really into the Mercedes and everything. Towards the end,
Yeah.
The beautiful houses, all that. We had money. We were able to do that. But for me today, to go have a $600 car payment, I think is ridiculous.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm not materialistic. I'm happy with the clothes I have on my back.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to look at it.
No, definitely, because I agree with you. I got a 1980 car, it's been, paid off. I got another car, a Dodge Charger, it's paid off, just a used car, but
what's wrong with that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying,
You got to live within your means. That's something that I learned because, you go to prison, you lose everything.
Yeah.
You come home, you start building up. I came home. I started all these ministries. I had some money. All the money was going. I got married. The marriage went bad. I came back to Boston with nothing again, starting all over again, always starting over, you know, and it's hard. It's hard. You got to get up and keep fighting every day. But why am I going to go and put myself in more debt if I don't have to?
Yeah. No, and it sounds like, you know, you've already been at rock bottom, you know, so for you to go through it again, I mean, not completely rock bottom at this time, but, you know, you've been through it. It can't get any worse, you know, and.
No. You know, listen, you never know what God has in store for you financially. If you tithe your money, if you help people, if you're good to people, everybody has different gifts. You know, you really believe he'll always be by your side. Paulie says it all the time. Our Paulie, we get little blessings all the time.
Yeah. I'd rather get little blessings than that one big lottery ticket any day.
Well, I like the lottery ticket, Paulie, but I'll take the little blessings too.
Big money causes big problems.
Last week, I opened up my phone, boom, PayPal. Someone from the show sent $500. Who sent $50? Yeah, oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Because they could go on Cash App or they could go up to PayPal on BobbyLuisi.com and donate money.
Damn, that's really nice of them, man. You just never know.
You don't know. I mean, and we needed it. You know, I haven't worked in almost 2 years.
Damn.
Been living off of credit the last 3 months. Thank God. Actually, today I'm waiting for the news for the car lot, the new one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, listen, but you want to know what? I stay in faith. I know one way or another God's going to provide for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That has to be your outlook on life.
Yeah, and when you have that, you know, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
When you know that you have something, you know, you know, you're fine, you know, like God got you. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry about nothing, man. Something's coming.
Yeah.
That's just
when he's got your back, that's it.
Yeah, for real. You said you were waiting to hear back from a job then recently?
No. Actually, we were opening up a used car lot.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, with a few friends, and we're waiting. We're waiting tonight for the license.
Damn.
So we should know by tomorrow, and you know that's it. We go and we start making money again. See, God provides. God's providing.
Yeah, you know
that's all we really have to worry about. If we don't seek material things and worry and be jealous of what other people's possessions are, then you do better in life.
Yeah.
You know, if another guy does a show and's got 100,000 viewers, God bless him. Be happy for that guy.
Yeah.
You know? And I look every day and I say to Paulie, geez, why aren't we growing fast enough? Well, you want to know something? We're at our pace with our people.
Yep. Exactly.
So when it comes, it comes. And that's it.
And it definitely will, because I mean, look how much it's grown in a year. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And you still got the interesting stories you can talk about, and then you also.
I haven't even started talking about stories. See, they're writing my life story right now.
Are they?
And I'm under I'm under contract, and I can't tell a lot of these stories in the show, and I try to explain that to people.
Oh, okay.
I will start soon, but you know what's going to be in the book, they don't want on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So that's what
my manager tells me. If he sees something he don't like, he calls me up and tells me to take it down. So, you know, this is what I have to do right now.
No, that makes sense.
As soon as that book comes out, there's going to be a ton of stories, believe me.
Do you have any date that you have in mind when it's going to come out?
No, I really don't. I really thought it was going to be out by Christmas, but you know, with all this COVID and everything and
all that bullshit.
You know, the publishers and all that, it's just, you know, it's going to come soon.
Yeah.
It'll come soon.
Kind of talk about your other book that you have. Explain it, you know.
Well, I wrote that book in prison. You mean God's Plans Revealed?
Yeah.
It's up on Amazon. And in prison, I taught a 20 to 24-week course every year on creationism. And what the book does is it breaks down the course. It's a summary of my course. And it starts in the book of Genesis and goes all the way to the book of Revelations. Okay. And I start breaking down some chapters and verses. I break down most of the book of Revelations to make it more easier for people to understand. The book is a great guide. You can't read it like a novel. You know, it's a Christian book.
Right.
It's a teaching book. And I've been doing well with it.
That's good.
You know, a lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people don't understand that this is why I'm going to start teaching out of the book again.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm going to do. This way, whoever has the book, I don't care if it's 2 people that watch it. You know what Christ says, when 2 or more are gathered in my name, I'll be in their midst.
Yeah.
And then I'll start breaking the book down.
Yeah.
That was my plan when I started my last ministry, was to break the book down.
Yeah, and that'll definitely break it down for people that, you know, are having a little trouble understanding it, you know, because once you give them videos to explain it, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to put it on the YouTube channel as well?
Yes, I will.
That's good. Yeah, and then people can watch that, you know, and, you know, then they can get more understanding of it. And, you know, more people
And then
become
I could also do it live, or I
Yeah.
can tape it, you know, because I do want to do some questions and answers.
Yeah, and then people love doing that, you know, especially, you know, what you see from your results from your show now. I mean, just imagine a year from now you start doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only gonna keep going up from here.
Well, I think God opened this platform for me to go to that.
Yeah.
Because I do have the followers. I am getting the followers. So, and again, I'm going to say it, 2 or more are gathered in his name. If 2 people watch the show, I'll be excited.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
You know, I just praise God, you know, that it works out.
Yeah. What motivates you to do what you do every day?
I don't know. I just have it in me. Since I was a kid, I've been working since I was 11 years old. That's how I was taught, you know, and I just keep going. I can't give up.
Yeah.
Just got to keep going.
That's good. I mean, yeah, look how far you made it.
Yeah. Well,
going.
Went through a war. I'm prison, 60 years old. I'm still here, my friend. So something's going right in my life, right?
Yeah. Not a lot of people can say that, you know, because I mean, you were, you know, in the life for, you know, how many years were you in it?
I had a 10-year run on the street.
Right.
You know, but like I said, since I was a little kid, it's always been around me.
Yeah, and like you said,
I feel like it was embedded in me, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh. And then after that, you went to, you know, prison and stuff, and now you're still staying here alive. I mean, you know, you definitely got a bigger plan than, you know, like you said.
Oh, he has a plan for me. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is yet, but I know he has a plan.
Just got to be patient.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think it's definitely your show, you know, I mean, helping people out.
We're trying.
You know, teaching.
Yeah, we're trying. We're going to help them.
Where would you like to be in 10 years from now?
I don't know. I don't look that far. You know, the Bible tells us not to do that. You can read that in the book of James too. And, you know, I just don't. God says only a fool makes plans. And I'll tell you why, because we don't know his plan.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to say, you know, in 5 years, I'm going to be at this level. I'm going to be over here. Or I'm going to be retired. I don't know. I don't know. I go day by day.
Right.
You know, a lot of things are by the seat of my pants because it's God's will. What happens to me? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah. How far ahead do you ever try to plan? If you do plan.
My next show.
You
know, if I got a business opportunity, no, seriously.
Yeah.
You know, we've been planning out this car lot from last year. Things like that. Business wise, I'm there. You know, writing the book. Things are planned out. You know, but like I said, after that, I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of faith, but I also believe in the tangible. You know, but not in Christ Jesus, but in the tangible. So if I see it, I could touch it, we could do it, let's do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If not, let's pass that on and go do something else.
Yeah.
And
I see what you mean.
That's how I am. You know?
How do you invest in yourself?
In what way?
Just, you know, I guess you could say, you know, I always ask that to everybody. You know, I mean, obviously you have your home show, you know, putting money into that and starting it. And, you know, it takes time, you know, it takes your knowledge that you've learned throughout your whole life, you know what I mean? And I mean, I definitely see that being how you invest in yourself, you know, and how you continue to keep moving on, you know, with your books, your products, your teachings, you know, that you have plans to do, you know, I mean, it's, you know, a really good thing that you're doing and trying to help people out.
Well, you know, Sam, and I like the way you put that and how you said that. But investing in myself, You know, that's something that, you know, we all should have to invest in ourselves to a certain point.
Yeah.
In every different facet of our lives. But I'll tell you this. Again, I'm going to go back to God's plan. I really am. You know, I just take it day by day. I see how the traffic's moving, and I just go with the traffic.
Yeah.
You know,
what you mean.
And I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It helps with anxiety, depression, and everything else. Not that we don't all suffer from those things.
But it kind of helps.
Yeah, it helps. It really does.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that. I learned a lot of patience. I was a man, I had no patience. I wanted things done right away when I wanted it, and that was it.
Right.
And I was in that position, you know, but yeah, to make those calls. But now I'm very patient. We just have to sit and wait.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know,
I like it.
People pray, they get discouraged because things don't happen fast enough for them when they are praying. Nobody understands the mountains that God has to move to make that prayer come true.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about ourselves as individuals. He has to move a lot of things around us to put us in the position of what we ask for prayer to come true.
Yeah.
He has to move a lot of things. He has to move people. So, I mean, I'm just patient. I sit and I wait.
Yeah.
And I see what comes.
And in order to really want to get something too, you have to, you know, put the steps too. I mean, you can't just say you want this and not make any steps.
Oh, no. Oh, well, of course, you gotta get out there and do it. You gotta make an effort for it. You know, a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, in intercessory prayer, people pray for people's health, that God gets into their lives to change them. And those are all great things. But if you want something in life, you have to go out and get that and show God you're going to get that. If it's the right thing and that's what he wants, he'll open those doors for you. You know, but if you're not ready to step through the first door, nothing else is going to be open for you.
No, that's true.
You have to be persistent in everything that you do. You have to keep going, even when it looks dim. Things look bad. You just have to keep doing it. You got to keep taking those steps forward, and you have to move on it.
Yeah, and you see what opportunities present themselves on the way up in that direction. You know, I mean, like with me, he's doing all these interviews with all these different people, and including yourself. I mean, he just, you know, a year ago, I wouldn't have thought I'd done any of these with anybody, but I kept pushing forward with it, and it just kind of happened, you know. And I really,
well, you got the personality for it. You're asking the right questions, you know. Like I said, with myself, I was just got comfortable teaching.
Yeah.
Got comfortable dealing with people. You won't believe how many people came to me in prison for advice and different things. And even when I got out, even counseled a few married couples and friends, and, you know, and it's sad, I'm divorced twice, but, you know, I can give advice, maybe from my mistakes. I think that's how it works, you know. It's hard to say in front of a priest that's never been married and go to marriage counseling, you know.
Right. Yeah, that might not have the most understanding towards the situation.
Well, we learn through our failures, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's everything in life. That's everything.
Those are the best lessons that you can learn is from that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can prevent other people from going through that situation. That's why, you know, I do interviews with people just like you know, that you went through such shit, you know. I mean, you had your bunch of history, you know, like with the mob life, the prison and everything, you know. I mean, you can prevent someone else from going through that if they're a young kid, you know, maybe they're an adult, maybe they're your age, you know. You just never know that who's watching.
Yeah. Well, you know, you watch all this mafia genre on TV, on this YouTube.
Yeah.
And you see that it never ends up well for anybody. There's only a few guys that really died in their bed with their families. You know, it's always a horror story.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. So he ends up with a bullet, life in prison. There's nothing to this life.
Yeah.
You know, so I just try to discourage people from getting involved in it. Absolutely try to push people from selling drugs, getting involved in drugs.
Yeah.
And, you know, but we can only do so much. But we try to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the right things done, you know, really do.
Yeah. What do you do in like when you're in a stressful situation, or what did maybe, you know, maybe even when you were back, you know, a younger guy or even middle age, you know, like what was one thing you could do to calm you down or in a stressful situation?
Well, you know, I had stress on me every day.
Yeah,
I was on
exactly.
the street, even in business as a kid, buying my first building. You know, it started there, having my company, having employees. It was always stress in my life.
Right.
Getting back out on the street, people think it's an easy life. It's not. It was 24/7. I'm used to stress. I don't cope with it as well as I do today. You know, anxiety, depression comes up, but
Yeah.
it goes away faster now with Christ. It really does. I mean, you got to hit a point, you got to leave it in his hands. When you hit a point physically, mentally in a situation that you can't handle it no more, you got to turn it over. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's how I deal with it today. I look at it and say, well, you know, something, there's nothing that I could do about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we got to leave it in God's hands, most of these things.
Yes. Yeah, I see what you mean. And I can totally see that, you know, helping
Yeah.
with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
You know, I guess, you know, people just really should understand too that you're not just, you know, that mob guy, you know what I mean? Because now you're trying to do stuff with, you know, Christian preaching, teaching and stuff, you know what I mean? You're not just that guy.
Well, I've been out of the life since 1999 when I got picked up.
Right.
And, you know, it's still in me.
Right.
You know, in a lot of ways, I'm still Cosa Nostra. It's not that it's totally out of me. You know, there's a lot of parts of the life that I miss, the good parts of it.
Yeah.
You know? But I can never go back to that again. I am a Christian man now. I make a lot of mistakes, though, my friend. I stumble a lot. I really do. But I just pick myself back up and I keep trying.
Yeah.
And that's all I could do. A lot of people stumble and they stay there. They don't want to get up. But I get up and I keep doing what I have to do.
Yeah, and that's what everybody should do.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, and it's hard to, you know, sometimes, especially when shit just keeps happening and happening and happening. You know
yeah.
I mean?
They get stuck in a spot, in a place, and they can't move out of it. And that's when things are bad. You know?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. But, I mean, eventually, you know, you go through shit and then, you know, hopefully, you know, you're able to make that change and, you know, be able to, you know, not continue, you know, get back up. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. Get back up when you get knocked down and, you know, not just stay down. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. But, yeah. And I think you really help people with your videos.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. And have fun, too. We're trying to have fun with the people, too.
Yeah, and you definitely do because you guys always have some kind of jokes, or they might even.
Oh yeah, well, Paulie besides me, it's hard not to, you know.
Crack some jokes and stuff.
Oh my God, he's a chronic ball breaker, but that's good, and we have fun with it every day. You know, I love him. He's my little brother. You know.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Well, you know, did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
No, listen, you know, just check out the show, Bobby Luisi, the Bobby Luisi Show. You know, if you're a Christian, the book's up on Amazon. You know, God's Plan Revealed by Robert C. Luisi. Then we have our products. You go up to BobbyLuisi.com and go right to the page and pick what products you like. And no, that's about it, my friend.
Okay, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and, you know, talking to me and giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you.
I loved it. It was great.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah. I'll be in touch, you know, with your email too, or your phone number. You know, I'll send you the link and all that stuff for this interview.
Yeah. So, all right, we're done now, right?
Yeah. Let me record or stop on here.
Yeah.